Welcome to our YouTube channel.
What are we doing?
Dynasty.
Red flags are all over you,
All around you.
all around you. That
You need to get help, bro.
alright, let's begin. Come on. Welcome.
Welcome once again to Love Loud with the Arabo Tobies. We are excited to have you.
Yes,
today.
we are
It's
excited.
always a pleasure to share our thoughts with you about relationship, marriage, love, and all that is in between and all that's all around it.
And it's been really exciting. I mean, the
response,
feedback,
the
the response, the activity on the page. Oh, thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
We
for
are
sharing.
so
Thank you
grateful.
for subscribing. Thank you for asking questions and all that. We are really, we don't take it for granted. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So today, today,
Let's get into it. Let's
let's get into today's matter. Okay, so today I want to share with you what we would call maybe a secret. One of the key things that has helped our own relationship. And like I said, I use the word relationship deliberately because perhaps most of the things we are sharing are things that we started doing even while we were in a relationship, and we are still doing in our marriage now, and it's helping us a lot. And we've come to call them cultures.
Yes.
Just like in social studies. Remember social studies?
I think so. Yes, I remember social studies because I used to pass that course a lot.
Which course?
The subject.
Which subject did you have? There's no parent that feels any subject.
Oh well.
Alright, so
Some of us did not know some subjects.
what subject did you know?
What subjects I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. I think government was a stressful course. Subjects. Why did you
Government was pretty easy.
I think government was a very stressful course. Like, why do I need to have all those years and the numbers and what the policy? It just wasn't.
I think it's something that probably had issues with secondary school and agriculture. Yeah.
Funny enough, I passed agriculture.
Because I was going to meet you. So, anyway, so one of the things we're going to talk about is cultures.
Yeah.
Okay, in social studies, we're told that culture is the way of life or the way of life of a people.
Yeah.
So I want you to we're talking about this culture as well, family culture, relationship culture, marriage cultures that will help give you the God-designed kind of marriage, kind of family, kind of relationship that you desire.
Pretty much, what's the way of life that matters to you in your home, in your marriage? What's that universe that's like yours, that's defined, that pretty much defines your identity in your home? What are the things you do? What are the things that you have to put in place that they're like routine, that if you come into our home, or if you come in contact with our relationship, this is a must that you would experience or you would see in us.
Yes. Yeah. Just like how there's some cultures that you go and you're expected to eat from the same plate with the host. Okay, there are cultural things, and
Some of us can survive situations like that.
if you are going to go there for missions, won't you?
Oh, father.
Okay. So there are different cultures, and we're going to share some of the ones that we have used, and you can expand them. You can add yours to it. What is key is that there are things that positively affect your relationship. And I want to start with one of the key things, one of the key cultures that I highly love a lot about our relationship, about marriage, is a part of our communication culture. There are different angles to communication, but a part of our communication culture. And our communication culture guides how we speak to ourselves, how we treat each other, even when we are upset. Okay. One for example, right from when we were in a relationship, we agreed that no one will ever walk out on the other.
Yeah.
During the conversation, nobody will ever walks out. Nobody ever what's the word? You don't run away from a conversation.
You need to tell them why we came to that agreement.
The conversation has to be hard. It must be hard. Right?
Please let him tell you why we got to
I don't
start.
know. I can't remember why.
Oh, I can remember. I can really remember because we're having a conversation, very heated conversation.
And no, that
while
was
we're in
after,
relationship.
and we had already had the culture before that happened.
Oh,
It's
so
not the
you
one
even
about
broke the culture.
No, I was going to.
You-
Now, I think it's very important as well to mention that when you create cultures, it is binding for both parties.
Yeah.
Particularly, I think that the men, husbands, or the boy in a relationship must be custodians of that culture, ensure that culture also, and you must by leadership submit yourself to that culture as well.
Yeah.
Now, this story
Lead
that
by
she's trying to
example.
make me share is such that thank God I passed.
Oh,
Now, so there was a time we're having, I think we're married then.
were we? Yes,
Yes,
actually,
so
yes.
we're already-
We're married. We're married.
So the
we're
culture was
married.
already on ground.
I just pictured the environment.
So
it was
we're
at
already
home.
married and we're having a conversation in the room. And it was, it was a little back and forth already. I was getting tired of this conversation. And I know that we had agreed that we would never work out on ourselves or we never run away from conversations. But that day I was getting, we were just sitting on, so I started working out. And then my wife goes, so are you going to leave me? I said, yeah, so you're leaving me in this room. You're going to leave me in this room. I'm like, I'm not walking away, but we are going towards the door. Then I came back into the room. I went to look for my phone. I started walking towards the door again. Like, where are you going? I said, I was going to buy a recharge card. No, I've not bought a recharge card in years. You always buy a
Like,
recharge
why are
phone.
you by going outside the house to buy
Now,
recharge
the
card?
thing is this: as a single person, usually one of the ways I sort my issues, I clear my air is by running. I just go out of the house and do a run, do a jog for a stretch, and I'll think through like that. But because we now have that culture, of course, I didn't go anywhere to get my. I sat down and finished that conversation. Do you get? But that culture itself has helped us a lot to solve issues and deal with matters every time in our relationship.
You have to face it head on. There's no I even think that it also has helped us to be very respectful of ourselves, because the way we speak to one another, the kind of things that matters to us when we are having conversation with one another helps us respect one another. So if you're having a conversation with your spouse and the person walks out on you, it means that the person either doesn't value you enough or doesn't value that conversation.
Yeah.
So it says a lot that, okay, even though this conversation is heated, like it's not going as pleasing or as pleasant as you want it to go, but you are still able to sit down through that conversation and get a resolution at the end of the day. That matters a lot.
Yeah, it does. Communication culture is one that is important part to have. So whether you're in a relationship or you're married, and if you don't have a culture like that, you should have a culture. But before we go to another culture, I think still on communication culture. I also remember. So I don't know if it's on communication culture or it's on how we speak to ourselves and how we treat ourselves as well. An experience. I don't remember. There was an evening we both went out. We went to Just Right to buy something. Now she had upset me. She did something that was upsetting. I was really upset. Now she was at fault. That one there's no argument. She was at fault. And so while we were in the mall, she didn't apologize, but she was trying to have a conversation with me. Now just give me her more than so okay, yes, whatever. You get like that. And we're like that throughout our experience, whatever I'm buying at Just Right. We left. Now one of the cultures we also have for conflict resolution, which will come to very soon, is that we never depart from each other with grudges, or we don't go to bed with unsolved grudges as well. But this day, so I think I'm just stuck to, so that is conflict resolution culture.
Yeah.
Now on this day, we departed like that. At least she thought that I was fine. Anyway, but I was upset. Okay, and I was thinking, well, bye bye, and then we went home. Now I was about to pray, so I got home. I think probably texted like usually do. Okay, I'm
We are a child of God.
okay, so
When God is your daddy.
I can't forget the experience ever. And So because night I'm about to go to bed, I want to pray, spend some time with God. As I knelt down, and every father, the first thing I heard God tell me is, don't ever treat my daughter like vanity.
Be a child of God.
I was shocked. And I was like, that experience of the Bible where the Bible said that God appeared to, was he Abimelech or somebody that was going to take? That was like kind of experience I had. God said, don't ever treat my daughter like that. People were like, but she was the one that I was giving a story. God told me clearly then that next time you treat her well, and if you are still upset, you come to me, then I will comfort you. And even though here and there sometimes I still fall short of that, but it has become a standard for me in how I treat her, because God is my father, this is his daughter. Then there has to be a standard between
be the daughter of God.
I treat her.
Moral lesson of this: be the daughter of God.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, I can't forget that. But that's one of, so for us too. So communication culture and conflict resolution culture, our grudges have limits. They have timeline that they have to end. We don't go to bed angry at ourselves. We try to solve everything as soon as they come as well. Yeah.
I think having a spiritual culture is also very important, because that's like what keeps you guys running. That's like the source that you draw from every time. And you cannot you cannot run your home or run a relationship or marriage where we are just waking up and letting it flow as it comes. No, you need to have, this is family prayer time, this is when we do this as a family, we fast on certain days, we do this, because it just keeps you guys guarded. Like, you are able to stay within that covering, and we all know. And beyond, I think one of the exciting parts for me right now is how our nights. So let me just say this. I think I should say this here. So for me, between both of us, when we first got married, it was kind of difficult keeping up with the prayer time, because for me, I like to pray early in the morning. My husband likes to pray late at night. I'm not a night person. He's not a morning person.
Yeah.
I can wake up 3 a.m. and start my own prayers, but my husband would rather, let's pray like 11 p.m. to 12. I'm like, I want to sleep. And it was a struggle, sincerely, because I think that it's good to be real with guys, right? It was a struggle, because when it calls for night prayer time, I want to sleep, so my mind is like, that was it. Okay, but somehow we had to grow into getting a balance, a rhythm that worked. We were, I think there was time to switch into morning where we prayed together, nights and all that. But in recent times, it's been nights, right? And it's been exciting with the children, because it's just it's beautiful, because it just used to be both of us. Now you have the children there and they're all singing with you. There's just that excitement that comes with it. And the reason why that can happen really is because we had started that culture. It's been a journey. Because so my point here is that really most of these things, when you start it off, you are passing it on to your generations after you. And whatever you start off if you start it off the wrong way, that's the same thing you're going to pass on to your children and to their children, and it just keeps going like that. So it's important that those cultures, because again, bringing it back to our social studies, the culture of the people was what defined them, and that was what, till now, you can still see people, there are still some people you meet that will be like, I want a Jesha, I want a Kitty, I want, what's the man here? Why? Because that's just their culture. So you meet somebody and you're like, are you from this place? I don't know how people get those things, because
born and bred in Lagos, Nigeria.
Yeah, Lagos, Nigeria. Born and bred. I'm born and bred in Ibadan. Okay. But anyway, I don't think I can meet somebody and say you're from Abuja or you're from.
I think that you are the probably way of knowing yourself and journey somewhere.
We are one. It's a very small town. Okay, but yeah, the point here is that your culture, whatever you start off with as a family, you would pass it on to your children. So it's important that you are deliberate about setting these standards, setting these cultures, putting these things in place. It might not be very comfortable. I remember one of the cultures that my husband has always talked about is reading culture in our home. How he wants children to, imbibe that, it's time to read. And you actually carry hardcover books and read, and we've started it with them already, where they are, take books and just, it's time to read, come and read. It's exciting. It's exciting to see that you can pass on those habits or behaviors down to children, and they grow up to see it. They see their parents doing these things. It's easier for them to emulate it, and you can only start that now.
You get so you should have spiritual culture. Have times we pray together. Yes, have your own personal prayer times together. But as a couple, as a family, as people dating, you should have times you study the word together. You should hear God together. You should pray together. And that's one of the great exciting times we had while we were dating. We heard God. Some of the things that we are doing now, we heard God tell us while we were dating.
True.
Our children, for example, we heard God about them while we were
dating.
Their
names, everything.
We had that information before we got married. We were praying and all that. So you find out that one of the things that particularly spiritual culture does, it deepens your convictions about why you are together. Nobody can come tomorrow and tell me that I made a mistake marrying my wife. Because how? With all these things that have happened after, all these things that God has laid in our hands together, that's not possible. So whether you're married or in a relationship and you've not firmed up that culture, please do have a time you pray together, have a time I think that when we're in a relationship, it was 7 o'clock every day, we used to pray or something, and 3 o'clock we'll call ourselves and pray or something. We had that
actually
as well.
I can't remember.
So 3 o'clock
we'll pray, we'll call pray,
that beautiful time.
Life has happened.
So have those things, they would help a lot. I think that culture that I want to share now as well would be, how do I call it? Maybe gifting culture. Gifting culture. Like, I learned this late, I think. I know. I learned it late. But one of the key things that we did from the onset, one of the scriptures that we believe was for us is Romans 12:10 now. That talks about how outdo one another in love. Prefer one another in love. Now, we took that outdo literally. It's one of the versions that talk about outdo. And we took it literally, such that it was a competition for us. In sense that we're always looking at who was giving the other person more stuff, who was doing more for the other person. Now, in our first year of relationship, relationship, she obviously won.
First year, I won back to back winning.
Wait.
It was a back-to-back winning.
Okay, so I'm going somewhere. First year, second year, you shall back-to-back winning. Now, why was that? Because she used to say that she's not a gift person. But if guys, let me tell you now, if any girl tell you that she's not a gift person, she's a guy, it's scam. Don't fall for it. So she said she's not a gift person. So I wasn't always.
It wasn't a lie. It was just that. So you can't really excite me with gifts.
But you want me to give you gifts
because you're my husband.
But now, don't I excite you with gifts?
Yes, you do. Actually, it's a good thing.
So I've stepped up actually, and I can say that currently, who is the current winner? Tell the world.
Yes, you're doing well. My husband is doing really well.
No,
actually,
yes. See the current winner.
Yes, he is the current winner. Last year he won hands down. It got to a point where my husband was like, I want to give you something every day. I'm like, okay, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. So I think that should be a culture, and it doesn't have to be big things.
Actually,
like, just constantly. Then we used to count 1-1, 2-1, 3-2. You get, make it like I'm looking forward to doing stuff.
Just surprise the person with, something very nice and beautiful. You can just, I guess, just a pack of earrings, and you're like, oh,
yeah, that's something thoughtful.
Yeah,
just do something. Don't go out of your way and have a bypass culture that we would always give ourselves things. And I think it also ties down to our celebration cultures as well, where no matter any of your wins, we celebrate it.
Yeah.
Do you get times where we can open a bottle of wine for it, we will open a bottle of wine for it. No matter how little or how seemingly small it might be. If you just got a promotion for work, if you got a good appraisal at work, if you just did something you wanted to do, we always find a reason to want to celebrate one another. Be the greatest hype man of your spouse. I don't think there's anybody that hypes my wife more than I. If there's anything,
no, nobody will. It's only you.
That's the do you get? So point is, let that be your celebration culture. Be the one that is making noise about your spouse, or like.
And the other way around, I'm your biggest fan.
Oh no, babe, you know. Do you get? So yeah, that's the celebration culture as well. Any other culture that is not mentioned yet?
I'm trying to think through.
Maybe giving culture.
No, we just said giving culture now.
I mean, giving, external giving.
External giving. Okay, well, we can add that to giving culture as well, where you deliberately I remember when there was a time we had our anniversary. Was it anniversary? It was also close. I mean, our anniversary usually December, right? And for us, it was just always a time to celebrate couples, celebrate others. There's a time we had that, and then we gave hampers to different couples, just to celebrate them, because we also just see it as, I mean, everybody is going through different stages of marriage, and our anniversary somewhat, I mean, since our wedding anyway, that's always been, we are building homes together, not just us. It's a journey with a lot of other people, and that started off from our wedding day. Okay, so we always do that. We always do that during our anniversary, and for us, December is also always like, just give everything out. And it wasn't a struggle, because we were both on the same page, because that's also very important. We're both on the same page that we are practically thinking, what are we, December, what's the plan? What are we giving? How are we doing this? How are we saving towards, that's how it is for us. So from our anniversary all the way, we are already thinking, what people we're giving, what are the things we're doing. It's always very exciting for us at that point.
Okay, so I think one more culture I want to talk about would be our evaluation culture.
Okay.
So we have a relationship or marriage evaluation culture, where either at the end of every year or at the beginning of the year, we would sit down like it's a business strategy meeting and plan our life. Okay, not plan first, evaluate
first.
Okay, evaluate as per how well do you do. Now, we itemize like about 12 to 15 things. How well did we do in praying together? How well did we do in communication? How well did we do in handling conflict?
In loving one another.
Now there are key questions we have. Okay, I think we would share our model. Our model with you.
Look out for that.
Yes, look out for it. Something you can use it or just flesh it up for yourself to use. Okay, but we look at all these things one after the other. How was our finance in the previous year? Did we meet the target we set the year before? And what is the next thing we are doing? So we have the evaluation now for this year. We've started already. We've not finished yet.
No, we haven't.
Why? Because you need to take your time to get it done. But it's something we always ensure that we do. Why? Because it basically helps us plan the year. We divide our year into like 4, and then Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And then you get, based on the evaluation, we can now plan. So I think for every couple, whether you're in a relationship or you're married, you should be able to do that. Because come on, if you go for business meetings, if you're in a business or you're in a company, you do these things. A company that doesn't do evaluation is not a serious one. And I think
they're just getting ready to fail, right?
Yeah. You can scripture talk about how you should what's that scripture about? Think about your use or something about that. Okay, but point is, you should be able to think about what God has done for you. How far have you come? How well are we doing? I say I love you, but do you feel, how well did you feel loved?
What are the shortcomings? What can you work on? How can you get better? What are the learning points? It just helps you become better off. It makes you a better husband, it makes you a better wife to your spouse, because sometimes we love people the way we think that they should be loved, that the way we we think that they should be loved. That's correct, right? But in the real sense, we are supposed to love them the way they want to be loved. So if you're not speaking to that person to understand their perspective of certain things, you might not be able to know how best to act. So if, for instance, I say, oh, I'm not a gift person.
I'm going to give the example. Yeah.
I'm not a gift person. I just buy me gifts. I am not even finding out, oh, okay, so because she said she's not gifted, I will not buy her anything. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes you need to find out, okay, yes, I know I'm not a gift person, but come on, you're my husband, you should give me gifts. That's the way it works.
Awesome.
So it's important to understand, but in the overall, I think that just have cultures, have different things that defines your relationship, your marriage, have things that serve like your own identity, that when people see you, when they come in contact with you guys, they are able to say that, oh, these are their remorse, this is how their remorse behave. When it comes to your own. Another thing that we forgot to mention, one of the culture in our home is that you have to be happy.
Yes.
No dull moments in their remorse.
Be happy.
No sadness is allowed in our home. If you come to my house and you are sad, like, I don't want you in my space. Why? Because we understand that one of the things that we ride on is joy. That's like what gives us energy a lot. You say our kids, they are always hyper, people that know them. And trust me, we prayed for it. We prayed that we wanted children that were full of energy, full of joy. Do you understand? So that's another culture. Like within around us, we operate in a space where there is joy. You get, so like you can't come to my house and then even if you come with a sad face, you must
experience
that
joy.
That joy must overwhelm you. You cannot go back and you're still feeling that same way. Okay, so those are cultures there are some cultures that they just come at you over time. You realize that, oh, this is what we have been doing consistently. There are some that you have to be deliberate in setting those cultures in place. So just the idea is just have cultures.
Have cultures. So we're giving some like 5 to 6 examples of what has worked for us and is still working for us. You can sit down with your spouse, look through it, add things you can add, but just make sure that you have a culture, a way of life that is peculiar. Okay, now it doesn't have to be different in the sense that you're looking for something different than other people.
Something new.
See, the truth is, before you came, marriage has been existing. After you go married, became existing.
Yes.
And you find out that the principles that have been keeping these things are the same thing, pretty much. Okay. So point is, the ones we talk about, see if you can put them to practice. I had the ones, you and your spouse, discuss it. You can write it down, sign it that this is binding, maritally binding to me and mine. Okay, 2 of you together. So
as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. Those are things you sign it.
So make sure and then ensure that nobody violates it. Both male or female, both of you must, because the moment one person think that should be laws are meant to be broken. No,
it's not very important. Let's just
not law. It's culture. This is how we operate in this house, and it must bind everybody, whether it's the head of the house or the wife of the house. Okay, I believe that it was really a good one. Now, if you have other cultures that maybe you are already practicing your own, your relationship, we'd like to hear from you.
Share with us. I know that there's some people that have very strong dating cultures. When they go on dates consistently.
Okay, so we have dating culture.
Oh wow!
No, come on,
we're getting there.
Yeah. But now we still have dating culture.
We're getting there.
But somehow our dating culture lasts there.
Our dating culture lasts after marriage. Before marriage, we used to go out on dates,
But I think that we did well last year.
I think so too.
I think
we tried.
And the part of evaluation, I think we talked about that evaluation.
Yeah.
We're going to do a lot more out in this year. Because we're going to take care of it.
Watch out.
Alright, so it was a great time with you. Like to share, when I hear your thoughts.
Yes.
How this blessed you. And also, please, if you have questions, we would be delighted to respond to you. We would respond to this personally, and if you want us to share, we would bring them
gladly.
talk about them right here and share with the wider audience for those that might need it. But because we're going through the same thing as well. Alright, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please share.
Thank you.
If you just stumbled on this page and you waited all the way till now, please subscribe.
Subscribe.
So like and enjoy this.
Like,
there's so much
give us
more
your
coming.
feedback. It's very important
yes.
to us.
We love feedback. We love your feedback. We love
Yes.
to hear from you as often as possible.
Thank you.
Once again,
Bye.
thank you for joining us at Love Lounge with Gary Moto.
Listen, peace.